All right, all right. It's the one and only 5D attraction, 5D dating and relationships, 5D transformations, baby. But in the 5D dating and relationship channel, we had a question come from somebody that's been going through obviously a very difficult period of time. They said they've been going through some ups and downs in their relationship with their partner, and that she went out, right? Um, this was about a previous weekend. She had went out. She came home late. He's very suspicious that something happened. She said nothing didn't happen, but she did go home with somebody. So, the first question is that considered cheating? And should I take her back? Now, that's a heavy question, but there's some principles to keep in place that I want to touch on. Now, the first thing is it depends on the door. I didn't get a chance to, he didn't explain in detail how long he was with the person because it was an email. But the first thing I'll say is it depends how long you've been with the person. Now, the only context and excuse I can give to this when it comes to, giving the person a second chance is if she just got with you. I know in new relationships, people are still establishing boundaries. Let me just make it clear. In the beginning of a relationship, you gotta establish boundaries. And it begins, right, when you establish boundaries, it begins with little things. Like, for example, she's going to test little things to see if she can do it. Going to the club with her friends early in a relationship and staying really late. Um, she might not be used to texting somebody consistently. She might not be used, what she's wearing. She might dress very provocatively. And I'm gonna just be real. Whatever you feel in your gut, you gotta trust it early on. You gotta stamp it because if you don't put these boundaries in place and say, "Hey, look, I don't really like you dressing that way because I don't like how it makes me feel," or "I don't like what it's expressing and communicating to the people in the environment," is saying that you're available but we're together, so you got to move a little differently. Like, the reality is your girl gotta, once she gets with you, it's a partnership between you two, and it's coming to an understanding of her adapting to what you need. 'Cause she's with you now, so she got to operate a little differently. She can't move the way she used to move, and there's things that are going to be recognized by that. Like, she shouldn't be out in the streets like she might have been in the past, um, unless that's what you want to do. And whatever boundaries it is, like, I've situations where, like, girl, even little things, right, like this, and this could be considered big, but I know a situation where a girl didn't want to wear, uh, she didn't wear panties when she went out, and he was like, "Yo, I don't like that," and she's like, "Well, it's just more comfortable," and he's like, "No, you're with me now. That shows easy access," and she's like, "Well, you think I'm gonna cheat on you just because I'm not wearing?" And it's like, no, but you're establishing what you need from your girl, period. And I think that's very important, especially for the guys, because you're setting the tone of the relationship. You're supposed to be a leader, and you can't be in a scenario where you can't express yourself and you're afraid to express yourself. And you know, I'm telling you, whatever you place as a boundary early on sets the tone for the whole relationship. So if you let things slide early, it's going to be way harder to stop it later because she's going to say, "Well, I've been doing this." Right? So you're constantly, early on is one of the rockiest times because you have the honeymoon stage, everything is good. But once y'all start to settle in, she's gonna test little things to see what she can get away with, to see what boundaries exist, and you got to let those boundaries be clear. Now, in this case, let's say you've been with her for a while, you already established this boundary, right? Then you gotta let that one go. You know what I mean? If I establish a boundary and it gets broken, especially one of that magnitude, um, you got to basically be ready to go. Now, if she can give me a good enough reason and is really sorry about it, I may give her one more chance. But let me make this clear: if she broke up with, I mean, if you found out she did cheat, then you got to go. You got to get out of there. Any cheating, you can never take a girl back after she cheats. That's my personal rule, because once you take her back, you've now shown her subconscious mind, not the conscious one. The conscious one is like, "I'll never do it again. I promise. We're gonna move forward." The subconscious mind goes, "Oh, okay, I can cheat on this person, and we can continue our relationship." So whenever things get very rocky and the temptation comes back, it's up in the air. You don't really know. She might act on that again. And so it's all about understanding patterns. If she did it once, odds are she's going to do it again, because human nature never does things once generally, or or if you see something at one point in time, that's normally a pattern that precedes that one action. So what you're seeing her do, you know what I mean? She's been doing that, and that's been given her certain circumstances. If you think she's just going to change for you got to understand, for a human, that's why this is called 5D transformations. For a human to transform their perspective and really transform their behavior, it requires an internal shift, and then it comes in the outside. It isn't just, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to change. No, that comes from deep inner work and dealing with her shadow side and doing certain things to ensure it won't happen again. So unless you're going through that process with her and you're doing that mental work with her, that's not, she's not going to respect you. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. It's all about respect. I'd rather be respected than loved. And um, in a relationship, that's what it's all about. When you get in these situations, when you get in those tough situations where she tests you, your ability to walk away and put yourself first and trust that, hey, look, I know it's gonna hurt really bad leaving you, but I believe in myself so much. I know I'm gonna figure something out, and I know it's gonna be better for me in the future. I'm a step in faith and do that. And all she can do is respect you. And even if y'all break up, she's always gonna have this admiration because you stood on your manhood. But when you're compromising, taking her back, from there, she already lost respect for you, and y'all not gonna last anyways. Like when I see stuff like that happen, and the guy takes the girl back, I already know the relationship is going to end anyways. It's just a matter of time because she's losing respect for him because she knows deep in her subconscious mind, this dude took me back after I cheated on him. Like, come on now. And there's women that won't admit that, but I don't really pay attention. A lot of what I study is subconscious things, behavioral patterns, um, and so I don't really take too much stock into what people tell me. I mean, what people tell me, I take it and I'm like, hey, that's what it is. But if I see a behavior that contradicts that what they're saying, and they continue to do that behavior, now I can't really trust what you say. I got to watch your behavior. So especially with related relationships and dating, this is for men and women. You got to look at actions and behavior over words because you know people are always going to tell you what you want to hear when you're dating, because that's how you get the person. Like you can't get a person being super disagreeable. So people are going to tell you what you want to hear. But when you see them make a move where she's at over somebody's house late, there's so many subconscious things being communicated through that precedes words. For example, she obviously, um, you know, wants to still see what's out there. She wants to still hang out with her friends and explore, see what's possible. She doesn't really take the relationship too serious. She doesn't have much of a fear of loss, of losing you to risk doing that. Like there's a lot of things that are communicated. She's probably, you know, the respect level is already to a low extent. She's testing to see how far she can go. Like there's a lot of things. So you got to take all of those things and say, all right, I'm gonna make a firm move to just let her know, look, I respect myself too much. I'm not going to let anybody play with me. If you're not going to operate from a place of respect, then I don't need to be in this relationship. And I'm going to let her know that I'm always going to choose myself first if it comes down to it. And that's the number one way to not get played. So that's my message to y'all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I need to get the subscribers up, man. My subscriber game is, come on, man. We're about to take it there. I believe it. Like we're about to take this to 1,000 plus, and it's gonna happen quick. And I'm speaking it into existence. And when it happens, I'm gonna say, look, what did I say? So go ahead and spread the word. This is the game. This is the ism, man. Shout out to everyone, and stay tuned. It's the one and only 5D Dating and Relationships, and I'll see y'all in the next video.